He dropped 2 passes earlier in practice, struggled in one-on-ones, and threw a punch at rookie DB Starling Thomas after he forced an incomplete pass and began trash talking. Jameson Williams has had a ton of talent. Hope he can come back from the suspension and show what he can do. Like, by the way, like that, no, like that's not like how it's worded. Like it says, he dropped 2 passes early in practice, struggled in one-on-ones, and threw a punch at rookie DB Starling Thomas. Like, there's no context. Like,
and
those things.
Nothing positive that he did. He just strictly had negative plays in practice that day.
And then you have Matt Broder and company tweeting out, man, Jameson Williams just got C.J. Gardner-Johnson on a red zone play, completely juked him out of his cleats. Like, and they don't write any of this stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, the guy sucks. He threw a punch at a teammate. He drops every ball that's thrown to him. Like this, okay, this is the problem I have, and I don't know if it's a crowd of people that are just strictly out there like, you know what, this guy, it's something to talk about, like Jameson being suspended for betting, missing most of his rookie season. Like, this is an easy target. Like, this is a guy that has big expectations, and of course, I see one report of him dropping a pass or one report of him and Starling Thomas getting into it when Travis Kelce just punched the teammate in the back of the head.
Yeah, and it was honestly like, after the play, like the dude was walking back already, then the guy was just making a football play, and you'd expect more out of him, especially because he's a lot older and more of a leader on that team.
Yeah, like this is like you see Travis Kelce swinging at people. Again, it's not to knock Travis Kelce, but this is training camp, guys. Like this is where emotions are high. Like, guys, this is the most. I guess the energy is up before the season. Like, guys are trying to earn roster spots. Guys are getting into it. Doesn't mean they're enemies or anything like that. Like, Starling Thomas and Jameson are fine. Like, no. Jameson came to the podium and talked about it afterwards.
And I'm sure you saw when we were at training camp, but even when I played in college, like, these practices, they're set up very similar. Like, you don't have time to think in between drills. You're not standing there waiting around. You're constantly going. You can't think, and that's why they set them up this way so they can see who instinctively is the best football player. When you are going through drills like that, especially when you're JMO, who's normally the fastest guy in the field, and now you have an undrafted rookie who runs a 4.28 that is now competing with you and giving you a hard time, and you got all this noise. Like, yes, that's going to bring some competitive and fire out of you, but this is what you want to see. Would you rather see JMO just sit there and get pushed around? No, you want to see JMO with a chip on his shoulder so he can go out there and prove everybody wrong, and that's what he's showing, and this is completely fine. Like, I'd much rather see fights in camp as long as they're not like Aaron Donald, where you're ripping the helmet off 2 dudes and you're hitting them with it and all that stuff. But as long as there's just like competitive fights, like that's what you want out of a team. Because what's going to happen is they're going to get off the practice field, they're going to look at each other and go like, damn, we just gave each other work. I respect you, you respect me, and then that chemistry starts to bond. And with both how fast those guys are, I mean, I don't know JMO's 40 time off the top of my head because he tore his ACL before he could run the combine. But Starling Thomas running a 4.28, those are 2 great guys that you'd love have competing every day.
I mean, and just to get to some of these comments too, like Bryce Bennett, y'all are over analyzing, and then you have Big Con 51. Well, you're talking about it, so it did its job. No, we're not talking about it in the same light that they want to talk about it. The reason why I'm bringing this up is so we can address it and we can get the right type of media out there, get the right narrative out there. I hate when things like this lurk on social media and it trends and everybody's retweeting it and there's no one speaking on it. Like, this is why we have a platform. We have the opportunity to bring bullshit like this and break it down and clear the air. Like, that's why I do it.
Set the narrative straight.
Yes, I think that's the point of talking about these things. Like, I don't want this post by JMO. It's unfair. Like, although some of it is true, and we'll be breaking it all down with Broder, like the fact that him and Starling Thomas got into it, that's true. But JMO also spoke to the media right after and talked about it. Yeah, me and Thomas, we went at each other, but it just makes me bring my best self every play. It makes me want to be great, want to bring it, want to compete. Like, he didn't say anything negative about Thomas. He said, hey, I understand I can't do what I did in practice in a game. That's 15 yards. Like, he said that verbatim. I can't do that. But in training camp, it is what it is. Emotions are high. Tensions are high. Guys are competing. And, of course, do you want your defense to be John like that? I do. Like,
yeah, that's what you want your DBs to be doing, because if Starling Thomas is doing that to Jameson Williams, I'd love to see because Starling Thomas, I mean, he could. I think it's a left field thing to say, but if he manages to have a starting spot on this team this year, which I doubt he will, but if he's doing that to JMO, imagine what he's going to do to wide receiver 4 and 5s.
Right.
When now you feel like Starling, hop in there real quick, Sutton banged his ankle up real quick, go stick him on his speedster. Now that's going to make Starling Thomas better. It's going to add the depth to the secondary better. But if anything happens, like, this is just going to make Starling better too. Honestly, what I took away from this is that Starling Thomas is getting reps with the ones and he's hanging in there with Jameson Williams more than anything, more than JMO fighting. It's showing, wow, Starling can actually play.